St. James man facing shooting and firearm charges. A 19-year-old man was arrested and charged for a shooting along the South Spring Main Road in St. James on Sunday, January 21. Charge is Philip Sterling of Megatop South Spring in the parish. Reported on that about 7:50 p.m., a man was driving his motor vehicle when Sterling allegedly emerged from behind a wall and opened fire at the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle escaped injuries and reported the incident to the police. An investigation was launched and Sterling was arrested and subsequently charged with the shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, using a firearm to commit a felony, and possession of a firearm with the intent to injure. The court date is being finalized. 2 arrested following massive gun ammo seizure at Kingston Wharfs. 2 individuals have been taken into custody in connection with a massive gun and ammunition seizure at the Kingston Wharfs on Friday. According to the police, the seizure was as a result of a joint operation between the Jamaica Constabulary Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Branch and the Jamaica Customs Agency, in what the police describe as a significant stride in the relentless efforts of Jamaican law enforcement agencies to combat illegal firearm trafficking.
During a joint operation between Jamaica Custom and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, in particular the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, the Firearm Trafficking Unit, a total of 64 assorted 9mm pistols were intercepted, and along with 965 9mm rounds and 107 magazines. The interception took place at the port of Kingston. This operation started earlier on this morning, somewhere about 8 o'clock, and it is still ongoing. This reinforces the importance of collaboration and interdependency, and that's what we have been doing as a group of law enforcement agencies. We are getting better at our collaboration, and I want to express our gratitude to the level of support that we are getting from the Jamaica Custom during our investigations into especially firearm trafficking. There are 2 persons that have been taken into custody so far, and I want to say that the firearms actually came from the United States of America, and oftentimes we hear about the problem of violence, especially gun violence and murder in Jamaica, and I want to make an appeal to the Jamaican citizens who actually are creating the significant problem that we have in Jamaica. They are the ones who are sending the firearm, and I am appealing to the diaspora to sort of engage the citizen and encourage them to desist from this type of destructive activity that is actually preventing them from coming to Jamaica to enjoy the paradise that we have.
Nurses stage Stop Violence Against Children March in Kingston. Scores of nurses have taken to the streets of Kingston to raise awareness and to register their frustration about violence against children. The nurses, most of whom were dressed in blue, started the march at 7 a.m. at the offices of the Nurses Association of Jamaica at Giovanna Park Road. The healthcare workers then continued to the Secret Gardens Monument in Kingston, which highlighted children who have been killed under violent circumstances. Nurse of the Year Chantel says, during the march, representations of various institutions shared information with members of the public about ways they can protect children and where families can get help. She laments that when children experience violence, there are long-term implications, not just for youth, but also for the labor force.
Remember, we provide care for just about everyone, and our children are our future. So in our very own profession of nursing, we are affected in 2 ways. One, from the children coming in, if their future is not bright or retarded from such an early age, it impacts the future that they will have. And if it is that we are not able to reach out to them at that time to do this prevention or reduction in the number of children who are affected by violence, then our workforce becomes affected in the end. Because as you know, as is, nurses are in demand. I don't think the schools in Jamaica are able to produce enough nurses for the needs of our nation at the moment. And if we don't have our young minds coming in, ready and developed, then there will be an additional burden on the workforce. The resources are already strained, but we will have to be the ones who are there to make the health become accessible so that these persons can be satisfied with the service that they're receiving.
I am 80% confident that there will be a retrial in cartel case, stated Bert Samuels. Attorney at law Bert Samuels says he strongly believes the conviction against dancehall artist Vybz Kartel and his 3 co-accused will be overturned. We were concerned that the Court of Appeal of Jamaica did not give enough weight to the concern we had concerning the jury who was alleged to have been attempted to bribe the jury. We felt that once that was exposed, the judge ought to have stopped the case and changed from another jury at any time, Samuels told reporters. Samuels was reacting to the 2-day murder appeal hearing before the UK-based Privy Council. Samuels said he was optimistic that the Court of Appeal in Jamaica would have agreed with their submission to set aside the conviction. But that was not to be. He believed that the Privy Council in the UK may be more amenable to their submission regarding jury tampering. We see that the judges are taking that complaint into account, and we hope that they will use the complaint to set aside the conviction. If that happens, that is not the end of the matter. They can set it aside and order a new trial. I am of the view that it is more likely that it will be interfered with the conviction, and I am hoping that they will go further and say no retrial, Samuel stated. Samuel said the wide dissemination of damning voice notes may make it impossible for Kartel and his co-appellant to get a fair trial in Jamaica. It is troubling even when we went to the Court of Appeal and we argued that based on the heavy circulation of the voice notes, at the time of the circulation of the white notes, thousands of persons forwarded those voice notes, and I suspect that those voice notes would have been forwarded by multiple thousands since that time. With that out there, it may be difficult to find 12 persons or 7 persons, as the case may be, to say that they will take that out of mind and give the accused a fair trial, he said. Prior to the 2015 amendment of the Jury Act, 12 jurors were required for the trial of a murder, but the Jury Amendment Act 2016 makes provision for majority verdicts to be accepted in case of non-capital murder, and reduced the number of jurors required to be non-capital murder cases from 12 persons to 7 persons. Samuel stated that they are 80% confident that the defense will be successful. A lot of time, the court says, where you serve as a good part of your sentence, like a third of your sentence, the court will say enough is enough, we're not going to ask for retrial. I am 80% confident that this will be a retrial, he said. Further, based on the extent of the submission, he is anticipating a summer judgment. The judgment is publicly announced on a scheduled date, typically 12 weeks after the hearing. Kartel, 48, has been in jail since September 2011. He must serve 32 years and 6 months before parole is eligible. In March 2014, Kartel, whose given name is Adidja Palmer, Sean Storm, Carifa Jones, and Andre Madsos St. John's, were convicted of the murder of Clive Lizard Williams in the Kingston Home Circuit Court. Prosecutors had relied on the sole eyewitness, Lamar Wiuchow, who testified that Lizard was murdered at Carter's home in Havendale, St. Andrew, after he and the deceased were summoned over missing unlicensed guns. They also rely on cell phone evidence. Lizard's body have never been found. After the Jamaica Court of Appeal largely upheld their conviction in 2020, the 4 men moved to the Privy Council, Jamaica's highest court. They have alleged that the crucial cell phone evidence was improperly obtained and that the trial judge was taunted and compromised by attempted bribery and later pressure from the judge to reach a verdict. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.